This story will be a departure from the hell dates that I've been sharing recently on this channel. But don't worry, we'll get back to those next week. You already know how it is. You go to a waxing appointment and just end up chatting for an hour about life. My esthetician shared about her birth control story. During her most recent relationship, she noticed that her hormones were all over the place. She couldn't keep it together. She had mood swings, and her boyfriend was like, we got to figure something out because I can't do this anymore. Her HBC method of choice was Nexplanon, which is the implant that you get into your arm. And I'm guessing the dosage was off because it drove her bonkers. After, consulting with her boyfriend and her doctor, she decided to take it out. And it was fine because fast forward to present day, she's no longer in a partnership and she doesn't need it anyway. So I asked her if she'd ever considered non-hormonal, like the copper IUD. And she said, yeah, no, it's never really been an option. It's not something that her doctors have ever talked to her about. And that triggered me. It brought me back to when I was 25 and I knew I was soon going to be off of my mom's health insurance. And I was like, all right, let's figure this out. I'm not currently sexually active. That was me at the time. But I wanted to get something that would last me for years and I could just set it and forget it and not worry about anything. So really the only thing at the time, I don't know if anything else has come out since, but the Paragard, the copper IUD, was my only choice. 99 point something percent effective, set it and forget it for 10 plus years. I think it's up to 15 years in Europe. I know myself. My body's like, girl, no. Hormones? Whose hormones? The man's hormones? Absolutely not. So that was my decision. I made an appointment with a clinic. And I was super excited about it because it was like, boom, I'm set for 10 to 12 years. Woke up that morning, took the train into the city, got off at Union Square, went to the Whole Foods. I remember this so vividly. Went into the Whole Foods, got a blueberry scone. And I ate that because I knew to take ibuprofen before your appointment to make the pressure less severe for the insertion process. I ate my scone. I took my ibuprofen, walked over to the clinic. So I was called in by the nurse and we sat, we chatted. She asked me about my history, yada, yada. And she asked me, why did I choose this specific method? And I told her all the reasons why, basically because HBC is not for me. HBC is not for me. And the nurse was cool. She was like a 50-something-ish year old Black woman, big hair. She made me feel comfortable until the tone of the appointment changed. She said, the side effects that come along with this are heavy bleeding, heavier periods. I was using the Diva cup at the time. She's like, you're gonna have to upgrade to the bigger size. She's like, yeah, it's gonna be such heavy bleeding. You're gonna need that and a pad. Like it's just, you're gonna have cramping. And it was just rapid fire. She was coming at me with these symptoms and the severity of it. And I was terrified. Like I had done so much research because I didn't trust the institution to recommend anything for me. So I was like, okay, I like this. It seems safer than anything else on the market. So I'm going to go with this. Then I sit down with a professional consultant and they're like, actually, girl, it's a no. Like we need to switch you over to the hormonal one, which she recommended Mirena instead. So yeah, after like the kind of shock and awe campaign that I got, I told her, okay, let's switch to the Mirena. She told me that she would have to go speak to the insurance to make sure that it was covered and yada yada, because my insurance had already covered this procedure. So I sat in the room for a while, for like over 10 minutes, just waiting on what the prognosis was. She came back and said, So if you want to switch to the Mirena, you're going to have to reschedule your appointment because insurance is going to have to go through the whole verification process again. And once they confirm it, then you can come back in and get that done. I had already eaten my scone, taken my ibuprofen, and done my research. So I was like, you know what? I'm already here. I think this is a sign. I'm going to stick with what I was comfortable with in the first place. She said, okay, sure. We went through the procedure. It was painless. She told me it went in perfectly. And yeah, that was it. Over the course of like the next maybe hour, 2, 3, I felt some cramping, but there wasn't any bleeding. And for the next decade, it just sat there chilling. I'd go to my gyno appointments and they'd be like, oh, yeah, she looks great. Yeah, but once I told my esthetician that story, she was like, wow, thank you for your story because one, I didn't realize that was really an option for me. And two, like now I know to be self assured. I've shared this story on forums for women as well, like just to beware. I really don't want to be a conspiracy realist. That's what I'll call myself because y'all, the risks of hormonal birth control speak for themselves. And I feel like there's at least 1 degree of separation between every woman and someone who's been negatively affected by hormonal birth control. They may not speak about it openly, but whether it's mood swings, weight gain, those are the most common side effects of hormonal birth control. But we also have potential blood clots, heart attack, and stroke. It's nothing to be played with, and it's nothing to just be recommending all willy-nilly when there are options out here that don't present that level of risk. So if you're out here and you're trying to figure out which HBC is for you, this is my story. I am a full-on advocate for the copper IUD. You know, the Paragard commercial with them girls dancing in the street and stuff? That's me. They are me. Like, that is how I feel about Paragard. I would just recommend in situations like that to stick to your guns. And I mean, I did my research with Dr. Google. And as long as you check your sources, as long as you like just have a wide variety of sources, a human doctor's perspective shouldn't intimidate you. Arm yourself with knowledge and be your own advocate. My name is KP. Thank you for watching.